Here we have a new 2025 Toyota Corolla Cross. This one comes in the XLE trim level in Sonic Silver. And then we have black Sawtex interior. Powertrain consists of a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, and that's mated to a continuously variable transmission. Now as we come around to the front end here, we do get LED headlamps along with LED daytime running lights and LED fog lights. And I love the front fascia here. Those lights don't flash, that's just how my camera's picking them up. But it's just a really good look here on this XLE. It looks fantastic. Now over here to these wheels, these are gonna be 18-inch alloy. Again, I like that design as well. It really pairs with this Sonic Silver very nicely. Passive keyless entry on the front door. One-touch up and down windows on all doors. Rear window lock is there, and then our power door lock controls are here. Power mirror controls up here. Just pick a side and then you can adjust. We do get heated side mirrors, and they do have blind spot monitors. Sorry if the wind noise is coming through here. Auto high beams, lift gate, hood release, gas cap release there. We get a manual tilt, telescoping steering wheel. And here's our power driver's seat with 2-way power lumbar support. But a huge thanks to John Roberts Toyota here in Manchester, Tennessee for allowing me to review this Corolla Cross today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But having the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, sitting behind myself, decent space, and really fantastic if you think this is just a Corolla crossover. Because, I mean, the vehicle still has a small footprint, but the fact that I'm able to fit in here like this is incredible in my opinion. Seat back pocket on the passenger side. Rear AC vents are here, and then down there, 2 USB-C charge ports. Middle seat folds down, bottle holders. LED lights. Grab handle there. If you want to hang a shirt or a pair of pants, you can. But let's make our way towards the back. There's the gas cap there. And what's crazy is this actually is rated to get 30 plus miles per gallon city and highway, which is fantastic. Now while that power lift gate comes up, quick look underneath the vehicle itself. There's the exhaust. Cargo space is really good here. We have little side pockets on both sides, and they're long, so I like that. You can put stuff in here that you don't want necessarily rolling all around, but you still want it in the cargo space. And there's our spare and jack and all of that. And then this does have the cargo shade. If you want to retract that, you can get it going and just hook it in. But I just think a really practical vehicle. If you want to compare this to the Chevy Trax, things of that nature. Now pull this latch if you want to fold the seat flat. Top tethers are integrated on the back of the seat. And then pretty easy to just lock it back into place, and your lower anchors are behind these covers here. Now to the window sticker. Y'all can pause anywhere if you can see that. Take a closer look at anything. I apologize for the glare. But this sticker is at 32,004, and then 31 city, 33 highway for fuel economy, which I think is really good for something like this. To our front passenger seat, 4-way manual. Seat back can be controlled here. Seat bottom, pull that up. Glove compartment here with the owner's manuals. And then as we come back around to the front, just a quick look in the engine bay. I can get this thing up. But there's that 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Now to the turn signals. So it's nice that you get full LED tail lamps, headlamps, and the side mirrors. Just a really nice look. Again, I think this is really worth the money for what you get here, just based on features alone. So leather wrap steering wheel. There's the horn. To the radio here, you do get AM, FM, XM, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and then on top of that you get Bluetooth, wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto compatibility. Navigation subscription, you can get that going here. And then in your general settings, you can change your language, units of measurement, date, time, all of that. Backup camera, guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. And the picture is actually really good here. But you can also adjust those guidelines as well if you want to. Several different ways to adjust it. You get a volume knob here and you can click that to turn the audio off. Hazards here. Dual zone automatic climate controls, big plus here, especially in the segment. If you're lucky, you usually only get single zone automatic, so the fact that we get dual zone is really nice. We can adjust the fan direction there, fan speed here, turn the eco on, defrosters, cut the whole system off by hitting that button. Down here, 2-stage heated seats for the front, USB-C port there, wireless charging pad back there, and then your traction control toggle and your auto stop toggles here. Now this is a continuously variable transmission, but you are able to get your simulated shifts. Now to get this thing in a gear, pull up on this lever, reverse neutral drive, and then to get to that manual mode, that's how you do that. You can shift up or down. Your electronic parking brake, you pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down and disengage. Automatic brake holds there. Bottle holders. And then in your center console cubby space, you get a 12-volt and another USB-C charge port, which is nice. Now to the sunroof here, you can shut that. That's what the shade looks like. And you can either tilt or slide it. So I'll show you how we slide it. It's one touch there. And then hit it a second time, it goes all the way back. And there's a view of the back seat from up here. Those buttons are here, LED lights. And I even like this mirror here, it's very nice looking. And there's your vanity mirror, LED light there as well. Now back to the steering wheel, blinkers, high beams, and then we get our intermittent wipers on this side. So one time off, intermittent low, high. We can adjust that intermittent frequency here, and then our rear wiper intermittent on, off there. Push back for that rear wiper fluid, pull up for the front. Left side of the steering wheel, these 4 arrows will go through the digital part of the gauge cluster. There are several different views that you can choose from, and then you can also change the settings as well if you want to do that. Volume knob or volume controls are here, voice recognition. There's your phone button when that's hooked up. And then your audio sources can be toggled here, track list or radio station presets there. And then for your cruise control, you can set adaptive or standard there, and then make sure your lane keeping system is on. And once everything is on, your driving support system can be activated there. And you can adjust the gap for that cruise here. Push button start. Finally, here's the key fob. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2025 Corolla Cross XLE out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Corolla Cross XLE here, it's a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. So you put your foot into it, you're not necessarily getting the feel that you would get from a turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's a lot more, it relies a lot more on getting higher up in the RPMs, not pushing the turbo. So you put your foot halfway into this thing and it wants to scream at you. But now what's interesting is I kind of gave it a pull out of the parking lot there in eco mode, and it still wanted to get up. It just took it a minute to realize what I was trying to do. Now you can put it into that manual mode at any time, and then it does give you a much more sportier outlook on your driving experience. But this is still a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder mated to a CVT, so this is meant to be efficient. It's not meant to be quick. I do like the downshifts though, even though it is, again, a CVT, but it feels so snappy and so quick because it is a variable transmission. And again, it's like night and day compared to just driving this thing normally. But it's something in this car I would probably use 2% of the time. And that's just me. Most people will probably never use it. Now on this rougher stretch of road here going through this industrial complex, it's a tad bit loud, just how the sound comes through the tires, the wheels. And in that sense, it does drive like a Corolla, but you get the good and the bad of having a Corolla here. But you also get the added benefit of having something that is a subcompact SUV. So the legroom I have in the back with the Corolla Cross feels a bit better than the standard Corolla. The driving position here, I feel a bit higher. I don't feel like I'm in the smallest car on the road, but my visibility is still good like I'd expect from a Corolla. My driving feel is still Corolla-like. It makes a lot of sense how they did this. If you want a Corolla, the only thing you don't like is just the space that you get with that. This will be a really good vehicle for you. But like I said in the walk around portion, even if you're looking at a Chevy Trax, the Honda HR-V, this is a good way to go here. Highly recommend if you're in that market to look at this, because this XLE in particular, how it's equipped, is a bit more expensive, but it feels more like the Chevy Trailblazer to me as opposed to the Chevy Trax. And that's one of the reasons this is a bit more expensive than that Chevy Trax. But the looks here are good. It's still, I don't want to say it has a dated feel, but it still has that signature Toyota, that kind of subtle feel to it. It doesn't look like the Chevy Trax. Like when that first came out, we were like, what in the world is that? This here still feels like a Toyota Corolla. It still feels like a slight refresh, but it's still modern in that sense. If you want something more subtle that doesn't really scream attention but still looks new, this is a good option for that as well. But I can't get over, one of the reasons I like the Corolla so much is it's just so easy to drive. It's something that if you like a sportier feeling car, you'll like. But if you don't like a sporty car, let's say you like a RAV4 or something like that, you'll like it as well. It's just, it kind of is a good middle of the road option if you're between something sporty and something, let me just say, less sporty. But we'll give it a pull here. Here we go. So yeah, the pull you get here is really good. I like the sound again, just having that naturally aspirated engine. And the manual mode does just make you want to put your foot in it. So I think a good alternative to a sport mode as I kind of get used to driving it. Now I do want to give one more thanks to John Roberts Toyota here in Manchester, Tennessee, for allowing me to review this vehicle today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But I think for a $32,000 small SUV, it checks all the boxes. I like having the extra room. I like the tech that you get here. Even though this screen isn't overly big, it kind of makes sense for a vehicle like this. And I like that all the controls are pretty easy to use for the most part. Now, having a heated seat button like this is kind of dated, I think. And I would like to have a heated steering wheel, but for the most part, I wouldn't complain about anything on this vehicle. They did a great job with it. And on the interstate, for this to be what it is, the road noise is very good. The wind noise is great. I just like the overall sound acoustics in here. But the sleeper feature in this Corolla Cross is definitely going to be that manual mode, because that was actually impressive for what it is. I love manufacturers that put CVTs in vehicles and they give you either a manual mode and or paddle shifters. It just makes it that much more enjoyable. You can't get a Camaro, but you want something that drives kind of like one and is more practical. This is a good way to go again. But a solid SUV for this 35 grand segment. With all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2025 Corolla Cross XLE.